What's going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you for another live review of Monday Night Raw. We're going to go back and take a look at everything that happened on tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw, the September 11th, 2017 episode of Raw. Once again, for the second week in a row, I enjoyed Raw. I mean, I've enjoyed Raw like for the last several weeks, but I gotta say, these last 2 weeks, like there hasn't been too much, stuff that it was what it was, or it's good but nothing was spectacular. We had a solid episode tonight of Raw. I am very pleased to say. There's only one thing that was a little, that's like a little filler, felt like, but other than that, like most of the stuff we had tonight felt like it mattered. More character development and such. It was just a really good show, and let's get right into it. Of course, before we get started, right before Raw, they just had a little memorial just honoring the 16th anniversary of 9/11 as 16 years already for 9/11. I still can't believe it's been that long. Just personally, I do remember being like a young lad, only in the second grade, right before my 8th birthday. I just remember a lot of kids going home at school, and my parents didn't come pick me up because they told me later that they wanted to, just treat life as it was normal. But that was their decision. But I just know it had a huge effect on a lot of people. It was one of the biggest terrorist attacks we've had in this country, and I still, pray for the victims and for the families who are still, remembering the loss of their loved ones at the same day, 16 years later. But yeah, I just wanted to mention my thoughts on 9/11 as well, and that's a good way to open up Raw. And of course, it doesn't really count as the actual promo for Raw, but it was a nice little memorial to start off Raw. We got right into an actual match. For the second week in a row, we started Raw with a match. Is that a record here, guys? Like, how many weeks have we gone? How many times has Raw actually started off with a match, not just like here and there, in a row? And ooh, Robbie sent a live chat that Zelina Vega's father died on 9/11. That's not too good. Ooh, I didn't know about that. But yeah, we start off though with a match though tonight. Roman Reigns taking on the rookie, the guy he called the rookie and made fun of John Cena for taking 15 minutes to beat last week. He takes on Jason Jordan, and it's just another chance for Jason Jordan to prove himself. And let me tell you, it was a good match. I definitely enjoyed this a lot. Oh, I still enjoyed Cena and Jordan last week, but this match even more. Like, I felt like Jordan even like turned up a notch this week and pushed Roman even like more than he pushed Cena. Because there was a lot of times where like Jordan really had to had his number. Robbie, I'll get to my pick for the Mae Young Classic at the end of this video. But it was just a lot of good counters, and really, Reigns was not able to hit, his key moves, the Superman punch or the spear, until towards the end of this match. But I thought it was great. Funny how I'm sitting there thinking, okay, how long is it going to take for Roman to win this? And like, wouldn't it be great though? I had just the slightest little feeling. Wouldn't it be great though if Jordan somehow beat Roman just to piss him off even more? But it didn't happen. Roman still beat Jordan after he hit the Superman punch into the spear. When he had him locked in right where he wanted to, he was able to capitalize. But my goodness, once again, for like the second or third week in a row, because it started off when he battled Balor, then he battled Cena last week, and then he battled Reigns this week. Jason Jordan has shown he can hang with some of the best in this business. And again, as I said on Twitter, he doesn't have quite good of a character yet, but he's still putting on good matches. There's somebody else who doesn't have a quite good of a character, but when he's been given he's given the time, he puts on great matches. Apollo Crews. Why can't we like at least do this to Apollo Crews? Like, give him a shot, put him up against some of these bigger names like this, because as CM Punk said in his podcast, how do you expect to get better if lower card guys don't wrestle higher card guys and be given time like Jason Jordan is right now? The same thing is to Apollo Crews. It can help him in some way as well. So it's just my honest opinion. I mean, the only shot that Crews really got on that level was when he faced AJ Styles on SmackDown last year. I remember, not too long I think it's not too long after Styles beat Cena clean at SummerSlam. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I think happened. A great match, and then Cena was watching backstage, and then he came out and he was asked, "What is your thoughts on the match?" And he said, "I'm going to tell him right to his face." And in the live chat, Robin saying, "Mike, have you noticed in the promo cards for the women's title matches on Raw that the women are smiling in their portraits?" Yeah, it is true. I don't know why they have the women smiling, and they're supposed to have like more serious faces if they are, wrestlers, or even like the heels as well are smiling. That's true. It doesn't quite make sense to me as well. I didn't think of that. You said that. But anyways, Cena came out. I mean, yeah, Cena came out to tell Roman straight to his face, about him beating Jason Jordan. He and of course, Roman is sitting there just waiting for Cena to start talking. When he comes out, he called out. Roman calls out Cena for almost getting beaten down by the same rookie who beat Reigns. Reigns states that he was having a great match and that he had more great matches in 5 years than Cena. He also mentions about how tickets and revenue have done better in the last 5 years than Cena has. When of course the funny thing is, Cena has. I mean, Roman really doesn't realize, he's still getting the bad reactions and such. And then Cena, of course, just owns Roman once again. For her saying, like Roman still he's like, I don't know, why did you come over? He's like, usually people come out and call me out. Usually I'm calling someone out. You're the one who came to Raw and called me out. I don't understand that. And then Cena's saying, he's been saying, you think you can do your job, but you can't. You think you're one who just can walk around and do whatever you want, but that's not the case. I'm here to just mention that you're just going to fail and fail and fail and fail pretty much, as he kept getting and saying around his face. And my favorite was when he ended the promo. Cena ended by saying something like, well, he didn't end the promo, or I can't remember exactly what it was, but he said, mentioned something about how you should compare it to a drug test because you didn't pass that either, or whatever what it was. And I'm like, ooh, zing him again. Another the zing again about about a drug test. I don't know which one I like better, that one or whenever Orton returned at Battleground last year and pretty much said how Brock Lesnar's gonna have to hit all these suplexes on him in Suplex City, but in Viper's only take one RKO for Orton to beat Brock. No enhancement needed. In the live chat, yes, Roman didn't get the message about the lower attendance rates, and Robbie says Roman also didn't get the message that the Shield died 3 years ago. That is true. But yeah, another good promo. I can't wait for these two to go at No Mercy. And just the more you look at, you continue to build Roman as this smug, arrogant prick, making him the heel. But just recently, I think in one of the Last Man's videos, he said, Triple H said he's not a face. He called him a heel. He called him like some, I forgot what exactly. I had to go back and watch the video, but it was some like gray card player or something like that. Just like you can't say he's a heel. You say he's a tweener, sure, whatever. I mean, like this new character with Roman he's had this year, it's starting to feel like he's both face and heel somewhat. There's someone going to call him a face, but he's starting to feel like he's his own with this character. He doesn't feel like this baby face being shoved down our throats, but he feels like someone who's starting to become himself and become like the Samoan version of Brock Lesnar, honestly, in my opinion. But either way, it's helped Roman better, and this feud with Cena as well has helped his promo as well. I think he's cut some of the best promos he has cut since becoming a singles competitor. It's funny. I think like he may have kind of needed like a feud with Cena to help like elevate his character and help adapt to it. I don't know where it's going to go after he feuds with Cena, or if it's going to be just a one-off match, or if it's going to go into a series of matches. Honestly, though, wouldn't you think though, like if this is going to lead to more matches, it would make sense if rumors are true about Cena going back on another hiatus after No Mercy to go film another series of whatever movie series he's a part of. And wouldn't it make sense if Roman just fully turned heel and beat down Cena to write him off of the show? Although, of course, he retired The Undertaker and he almost tried to kill Braun Strowman, so technically he's still a babyface from that. But it's just my honest opinion. But we'll see where it goes from there. And then we are getting ready for a match, a solid women's match. It's a fresh one too, between Sasha Banks and Emma. It started off with just Alexa Bliss on commentary, but then Nia Jax actually came out and was on commentary too. When she came out, I'm worried at first, oh crap, don't tell me she's going to just interrupt the match. It's going to be just another squash match between the women. But personally, despite Emma losing this match, I liked it. I thought they did give them a decent amount of time in the ring, especially for Emma's case, her just constantly coming out and getting squashed by Nia Jax. I was happy to see her. I mean, she did take the loss and tapped out, but I was happy to see her come out and get some time in the ring and be able to put on a solid performance. And yes, I know rumors have it that they only made this a fatal four-way. That way Emma could eat up the pin, so that way they could protect Sasha and Nia as well. I understand that, but I know you're not going to win your first title shot as soon as you get your first title shot like Emma is, but I have to at least put on a good match. Make it look like believable that Emma could have won the match. I mean, again, wins and losses do matter, but just at least have Emma lose strong. Just don't completely job her. Tian Couponer says, I can see that if Cena wins and then Roman turns heel and beat up John Cena so bad. Yeah, sure. I mean, why not? Cena's pushed all the buttons on Reigns big time. They've just been taking shots at each other and the promos felt real. So that's what I'd say go for. We then had, this was good, an in-ring promo. Brock Lesnar returns for the first time in a few weeks with Paul Heyman. And he has this promo as usual. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. Talking about their match, his match with Strowman at No Mercy, and he keeps mentioning how Strowman is probably the most worthy candidate of the face Lesnar for the Universal title. How Strowman manhandled Lesnar at SummerSlam, putting him through 2 announce tables, and even throwing a third one on top of taking out of the match. But of course, it wasn't enough to take Lesnar completely out of the match as he came back. He says that Braun will still have to rip the title off of Lesnar. He brings up about how the damage Lesnar had done bringing the pain to Rock, Hogan, and several others through Suplex City back in 2002 when he first debuted and such. And even talked about taking out the Undertaker as well. Of course, he failed to mention also that he was manhandled kind of by Goldberg, but I think they're always trying to make us forget about that. But whatever. But and then of course he says it says in the Broctagon, fighter ready. He's like, let's fight whatnot. And out came Braun Strowman. I'm looking forward to another beatdown. And I mean, to me, I felt this beatdown was it was not as intense, I felt, as it was a few weeks ago or at SummerSlam, but this was still a great little brawl between these two. And it made Braun even look strong. Tonight was another night of Braun, because Braun just came out looking like a monster, not just here, but in the matches later on. We'll get to that shortly. He came out, it went straight for Lesnar, and Lesnar did legitimately hit one suplex on Braun, and Braun just got up like nothing happened. And Brock was all fired up, and he turns around and sees Braun standing there up nice and tall like nothing happened. He's like, oh crap, I'm doomed. And Braun just went and beat down on Brock and even hit him with the running power slam. And he picked up the Universal title, and honestly, the iron is hot. Brock doesn't need the Universal title right now, especially if he's a part-timer. He does not need the Universal title right now. Braun is the man who needs to have the Universal title. The iron is hot. He's ready. I don't care what people say. He is ready to take the Universal title off of Brock Lesnar. Keep him as that unstoppable-looking monster. If he doesn't have it, what else is he going to do for the rest of the year? Who's he going to feud with? Since this is probably going to be it for Brock for this year. He probably won't be back until the Royal Rumble. we'll see what happens. But looking forward to that match. Looking forward to Cena and Reigns. This card is pretty stacking up pretty well for No Mercy, but this was just great, and it just made Braun look like a monster yet again. We then had a match between Goldust and Brainwash, which I thought was kind of random. When Goldust music first hit, like I said, because as I've said here and there, I have really been digging this heel Goldust character since turning heel on R-Truth and cutting those director's cut promos. He's supposed to introduce a new protege right around SummerSlam, but that never happened. They got scrapped, so I don't know where we're going to go with that. But Goldust came out and had a match with Bray Wyatt. For a short match between, you know, a guy like Bray Wyatt who doesn't get a lot of wins, but he does get something here and there against a more of a low card guy like Goldust, even though I feel he's very underrated. I thought it was a decent match. What we had didn't make Goldust look like a complete jobber. And I mean, Bray got the win. I was a little confused, like, why do they have two heels facing off each other randomly like this? But with the storylines going on with Bray Wyatt trying to prove that you may bring out your demons, Finn, but you can't beat me man to man. So after the match, Bray took some type of wipe or something, and was wiping off the pain of Goldust, like saying, "See, he's just a man." Finn came out to try to get the upper hand on Bray, but Bray got out of the ring and walked away. I don't know, guys. I'm still not quite digging this this feud between Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor going to a third match. I mean, I don't know. Again, like, I don't know, because I thought at first the way they did it with them, with Bray beating Finn clean on Raw right before SummerSlam. At the time, I thought it was all right. Now I'm thinking it may not have been. I know they probably wanted to keep just the Demon Finn for a big 4 pay-per-view like SummerSlam. But if that was the case, they should have probably just ended the feud right after SummerSlam, because just having them just go one-on-one again, just regular Finn versus Bray, it's not quite dignant for me. Like, they could have they had decent chemistry, but this match is just gonna feel like or an Inferno match, as T and Couponer said in the live chat. They could have had a little bit of stipulation, but just man on man, it just feels like the same thing again as before. Bray's already proven that he can beat Finn man to man. Finn's proven he can beat Bray as the Demon. There had to have been some other element that came into this, in my honest opinion, because to me, it doesn't feel any different. So, kind of one of the lower points, how I feel so far. The match between Bray and Goldust wasn't too bad, but, this whole concept is kind of a little not quite digging it. We then had a backstage interview with Sheamus and Cesaro. They were having a match against Gallows and Anderson next, and they claim that they see them as bigger threats than Ambrose and Rollins. They don't think the champs are a true team, and Cesaro calls them as being selfish and that they will be their doom, and they will throw each of their wolves, and then the tag team titles will return to the Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro. So they come out to have the match, and then at first they had Ambrose and Rollins come out to be on commentary. Gallows and Anderson are already in the ring. And then we have the Bar, Cesaro and Sheamus, come out, and they immediately start brawling with Ambrose and Rollins. And then Gallows and Anderson come back, and they brawl them too. So I'm thinking, what if they set this up for a triple threat match at No Mercy? Which, I don't know, if it's another team besides the Club, I'd be okay with it. But one, we already have a fatal 4-way between Alexa, Sasha, Nia, and Emma. But another multiple person match on a B pay-per-view, a big 4 pay-per-view, okay, but it's not another B pay-per-view. I don't know, I wouldn't really dig a fatal a triple threat match. Or also if it was the Club in it, because I just only think the Club are legitimate threats now to the tag team championship, since they both like crap. They had a good match against Rollins and Ambrose last week. I'll get into that, but you can't just do it by just 1 week. You gotta do more than that. But nice brawl. But then afterwards, Kurt Angle told Rollins and Ambrose, because Rollins and Ambrose said they wanted all of them to face all of them tonight. They said, I can't put my tag team champions in danger, but if you can find two more partners, then I will award you guys with an 8-man tag match. So I'm like, all right, cool. We'll probably get this selling before the end of the show. That ended up being the main event. I was surprised by that, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Even though it wasn't too bad of a main event, but I just felt this match still should have been the main event. We then have a backstage promo after the scene, and then Raw cashed in on picking out another free agent. I'm thinking, I wonder who it is this time. And sure enough, it is Asuka. Asuka is announced that she's coming soon to Raw. They're doing these vignettes with like a mask and then just her actual face again. So I hope that they don't drastically change Asuka's character too much. You don't want to keep it completely the same as an NXT, add a little bit of difference, but I hope they don't change it too much because they didn't really make the mask like that big of a deal, to my honest opinion, down NXT. So I just hope that this is not Vince McMahon like trying to take Asuka and make it to what he sees Asuka as, rather than what Triple H may be down NXT. Because like he's saying, Asuka's well deserved to be on the main roster. She's new competition, but I just hope they don't ruin her. But we'll see what happens. Asuka says coming soon. She probably could be around by either TLC or Survivor Series, honestly. We'll wait to see what happens. But I'm sure, guys, it won't take 17 weeks for Asuka to make it to Raw. So we'll see Asuka probably sometime next month, if not by Survivor Series. And then we had an in-ring promo, which led to probably the lowest point of the night with another match. Despite the outcome was right, but it was still one of those kind of a little bit of a filler match for the most part. But it gave this person some more time in the ring, as he is an uprising star. Before I get to this, in the live chat, we got Robbie saying Braun needs to beat Brock No Mercy. The iron is hot, and Braun is the guy on Raw. Yes, he is. I hope it is Robbie. Could the Raw main event be a preview of one of the matches for Survivor Series elimination? I don't know if they should just do for Survivor Series. They should just do just a simple Raw and SmackDown elimination matches again, because that's not too fresh. Robbie's, I think the closest go to New Japan Pro Wrestling, because I know they'll be booked and utilized properly. And I also think they will be bred for the IWGP Heavyweight title. Imagine Good Brother versus Good Brother. Sure. Robbie, Mike, do you think Rusev should go to New Japan Pro Wrestling? Absolutely. Yeah. If we're gonna book him like crap here, put him there. I'm sure they'll book him a lot better whatnot than they're doing on SmackDown Live right now. I just wanted to get into a lot of time. Anyways, getting back to this match. First, we had another in-ring promo with Elias playing a song about how crappy he thinks Anaheim is. Again, he gets good reactions. Don't know what it is, but Elias is working out on Raw. Another good promo with him playing the guitar in the ring. And then that goofy music for Kalisto hits. And then Kalisto, wow, I'm botching just like he did. Kalisto comes out, and they have a match. And I made a joke and just said, oh, gosh, here comes Raw in Pittsburgh again for a third hour. Because what happened after this match also had a trend that happened. But despite the third hour was still good. With the Raw in Pittsburgh, the third hour was bad. But we'll get to that a little bit later on. But, this was, the match was what it was. But, Elias got the win. I think it's time that we do start giving Elias, some actual feuds. He had his non-pay-per-view feud with Finn Balor, which technically he won. But if we're going to make his they still need to start getting him going, because right now he kind of feels like how Baron Corbin did when he first came up last year. He had a long dragging feud with Ziggler, which went way too long, I'll be honest. He was getting wins, but he wasn't getting quite anywhere else. So if they're really being serious about pushing Elias, they should definitely start pushing him further. And then as for Kalisto, either go to the Cruiserweight division, as I discussed in Dan's review, put him in the Cruiserweight division, have a match at TLC or Survivor Series, him and Neville for the Cruiserweight title in a ladder match. That would be phenomenal. If not, maybe they should, Kalisto deserves better, should go to Lucha Underground and do some Lucha things. Sorry, I just love that botch. Lucha things. And just runs off. If we see here, Rusev versus Ibushi, yes, I'll take that. If Eva Marie was still on SmackDown, what do you think they'd be doing with her? I'd still say kind of the same thing as they were doing with her, with like, you know, the wardrobe malfunctions and all that crap, because, you know, she's more of like that model status. And I think they probably would. And I heard rumors that there was plans on somehow giving her the SmackDown Women's Championship. I think under Ryan Ward's reign, it would have been an interesting route to get there. But I think that's what would happen if Eva Marie would have stuck around. But anyways, moving on to as I said before, I thought I jinxed this show that was going good because I mentioned how Elias and Kalisto took place at the Raw in Pittsburgh as well in that crummy third hour. Well, also that show, there was a match that should have been the main event that ended up not being the main event. It took place at the 10 o'clock hour, and it was a match that was been the main event, which this match I think should have been the main event. But still, even after this, the stuff we got after this was still really solid, even though I still feel this should have been how the main event ended. We have John Cena for the first time taking on Braun Strowman. My goodness. I don't know what was worse. When Brock manhandled Cena at SummerSlam in 2014 or this. Because Cena, you could tell right away, he came out, he's as usual, you know, hype up. He kept the towel back. He didn't throw the towel out into the crowd. He kept it on the ramp. But he came out and he was his usual, you know, smiling himself like, let's go, come on. And then as soon as he realizes, he's about to come out, he had a little tear in his eyes because, you know, Braun Strowman's not just some usual guy. Braun came out and Cena just had this look of tear in his eyes. He knew he was about to get his butt kicked. And let me tell you something. He sure did. Braun manhandled Cena. Like, Cena got a little bit of offense in, but it wasn't enough to actually make Cena look that strong in this match. Cena technically didn't lose the match because he won through disqualification, but Braun manhandled him. Even Cena's AA wasn't enough to keep Strowman down. Strowman rolled out of the ring, got back on his feet, and started setting up steel stairs. And let me tell you something, though, guys. I was worried when I saw Cena suffer that AA. I'm like, if Cena beats Braun clean and Braun doesn't kick out of one AA, I was going to explode. Because I keep holding WWE for this. Jinder Mahal can kick out of an AA, but Baron Corbin can't. And, you know, Jason Jordan couldn't. And a few others here and there. So what's wrong with this picture here if the guy who's literally being built like a main eventer is, not unlike Jinder Mahal, but a guy like Braun Strowman, if he could kick out of that AA, but Jinder Mahal could, all hope for me would have been lost, honestly. But that did happen. And yes, TN Couponers, Cena fears Braun. Cena said to Braun, please don't see me. Pretty much. Like, would you want to see Braun Strowman? Pretty much. What did I say? I made some joke earlier regarding Braun. In his promo with Brock when he came out, Braun literally looked at Brock after he got from Suplex City. He goes, I'm not going to Suplex City! Like I said, tonight was the night of Braun. The match, again, it ended in disqualification, but I don't care. They just had to make Braun look dominating. He destroyed Cena into the steel steps. This should have been the main event, as I think, I can't remember, either it was UTN Coupon or Ultra said it in the live chat in Dan's video about how they could have had just, you know, Brock just come out and stand on the ramp and just, you know, like clap for Braun or something that would end the show. Sure. It should have ended the show. Again, the stuff we got afterwards wasn't too much more. Would have still been all right, but, you know, I think this should have probably been the main event. We then had a backstage promo with Ambrose and Rollins still searching for tag partners, which, I mean, it was pretty interesting. I didn't want this to be the main event because we all knew it was probably going to be the Hardys. Like, who else was it going to be? Were they really throwing Heath Slater and Rhino in there, or if they were going to try to surprise with somebody else? If it was a surprise, then maybe, but we kind of expected at this point it was going to be the Hardy Boys, which nothing against them, but it's like it wasn't like as like a big hype to be the main event. So yeah, they found the Hardy Boys. They pretty much agreed to be their partners. And then we had this in-ring promo, which at first I saw as advertised. I'm like, I don't know, but this turned into a promo war pretty much. The Miz TV segment with Enzo Amore as his special guest. And before it got started, Miz and Maurice announced that they are going to be having their first child. So congratulations to Miz and Maurice. Baby Miz is on its way. It's probably going to be due right before next summer, maybe. Who knows? I'm not sure how long exactly Maurice is into her pregnancy. And yes, Braun saying, I'm not finished. You would make a great t-shirt. That's what it needs to say. I mean, just the Braun shirt is good enough, but the I'm not finished you part needs to be added in because that is Braun's tagline. But, as he's about to start, making a special speech about the baby, Enzo comes out and interrupts. And, of course, the Miz is not pleased with Enzo doing this. He says, my music was hip. I want to come out and celebrate with you. You're having a baby, blah, blah, blah. And then, Miz just rips into Enzo saying that, why do you think people don't like you? You don't even think before you speak. You just run your mouth. You went from one of being the biggest, hottest things being talked about in WWE last year to now being one of the biggest laughing stock, and you even lost your best friend because of that, because you just run your mouth and all this blah, blah, blah. And say how you won't stand a chance against Neville because you have to cheat your way just to win matches. And, Enzo, which, again, serious Enzo is better than corny Enzo because serious Enzo cuts some of his better promos. Like when the promo when he first called the cast hole, like that was great. Like the promos lead up to his to their match at Great Balls of Fire were great, and this right here as well, him being more serious worked as well. And Enzo just fires back, calling him a carbon copy as he just copies all these moves. Other people he mentions all these legends. He copies Daniel Bryan's yes kicks, and he just takes pieces of other wrestlers and just puts it into himself. And he even calls Miz a paper champion. And yes, I feel like it was still a bad idea to break up Enzo and Cass. It was way too soon. And again, as I keep saying, despite that the story kind of made sense in some ways, it still wasn't working out really, especially on Enzo's part. Cass, I still kind of saw some attention. He had some work to do still as a single star, but it was too soon definitely to break them two up. Even though the story made sense, in my opinion, but it was still a little too soon to break them up. But anyways, it says, and it also ends as if Daniel Bryan was right, there's only one word to describe you, and spells out soft. And then, they want to, go a one-on-one. So he says, well, Kurt Angle made this match official. We'll find out, blah, blah, blah. And to a surprise, a cruiserweight, guy in a cruiserweight division, is having a match with a non-cruiserweight. Whoa. I mean, despite its Enzo, I'd rather have seen, Cedric Alexander get a shot at, The Miz, or even, Neville, or, heck, Jack Gallagher, TJP, Rich Swann, you can give Enzo Amore, put him in the cruiserweight division, but still give him a shot against a non-cruiserweight. But you couldn't do that to Austin Aries. Come on, that was a weird. But still, I thought this was gonna be just just a filler match, blow off, whatnot. But this was so much of a match. It was actually a really funny promo war that I actually really enjoyed. They got some offense in, but pretty much was for the most part Miz laying out Enzo. Miz taking the mic, just copying Enzo or just mocking his catchphrases as he was making fun for it in his promo, saying, how you doing and such. And Amore calls out Miz saying that, hey, you're not going Hollywood. Your moves are going straight to DVD, blah, blah, blah. As usual, and he gets even more aggressive on him. But then he even snaps even more. Well, he snapped even more before the DQ finish when Axel and Dallas attacked the Miz. Attacked Enzo outside the ring. Probably even I probably enjoyed this line more than the whole thing with Cena and Roman and the failed drug test comparison. Takes a shot at his unborn child, saying, when your child is born, I'll be there saying, "Who's your daddy?" And everybody in the crowd starts chanting, "Who's your daddy?" And then, the Miz just snaps and just beats the living crap out of Enzo. And then Axel and Dallas attack him, and then the Miz finishes on the Skull Crusher finale. And you see Miz in the ring, despite not having a mic, he looks out in the crowd and says, "I'm the daddy." And it's funny, like I keep saying, in the past few weeks, despite Miz's run on Raw, despite the Miz being a little green when he came over to Raw, like not as good as he was on SmackDown, the past few weeks, especially with that promo that he cut on both Cena and Reigns, the first Raw after SummerSlam, I believe it was. Yeah, that one. He's been cut almost back on the level with cutting his promos to where he was on SmackDown Live. Everything he's talking about now, despite him being the heel, has truth. And, I'm feeling for the Miz as to why he's getting pissed off at this stuff. Like Miz feels more like a babyface to me the past couple weeks right now because of this. But, I know he probably would be kind of flat as a babyface because he's meant to be this arrogant prick heel. But he's thriving in it, and he's telling the truth, which is funny. Yeah, it's just funny. And then he just pulled the truth into Enzo, just laid him out, and survives the whole "Who's your daddy" chance and whatnot. But yeah, again, despite this being, a cruiserweight taking on a non-cruiserweight, I thought this was an excellent promo war. And then we have Enzo going backstage, all beaten up. He just sees Neville. Neville sees Enzo, and he just laughs and walks away. So that was that. We're still getting that match at No Mercy. But what's going on with the Miz at No Mercy? Is he going to have an opponent or what? Or are they going for the second pay-per-view in a row now defending Intercontinental title? I know he just had a great match against Jeff Hardy last week, but where are they going now next for the Intercontinental title with the Miz? He needs a little bit of direction here right now. Besides, again, the promo wars with Enzo, which it was good, but it was just a one-off shot. Live chat. Cruiserweight division needs to be disbanded. Yes, the purple ropes need to go. That is true, but we haven't seen the purple ropes in a while. Robbie also is not feeling the Wyatt Balor feel, like I said before. I agree. It just nothing special about it. Digging the Miz. Balor can face the Miz for Intercontinental title. As far as Enzo getting the Cruiserweight title, if it wouldn't surprise me if they do. If they do give Enzo the Cruiserweight title, it wouldn't fully surprise me if Enzo's still continuing to pull these heel tactics. No one's going to root for Enzo anyways. If he does get the Cruiserweight title, people are going to hate on him anyways. He'll probably eventually turn heel. And then, some big hot baby face like, Cedric Alexander or Jack Gallagher or even Rich Swann, one of them will probably get the Cruiserweight title off of him. But, the Cruiserweights could probably just, disband and continue to, get some mid-card feuds. Robbie says, why not do Miz versus Matt versus Jeff in a triple threat? Or how about the Miz versus the Hardy Boys 2-on-1 for the IC title? Sure, it could be a moment of truth thing between the Hardy Boys. There's not really much tension building yet between the Hardy Boys. That'd be interesting, though. We can see what happens there. But I just hope that the Miz actually does have an opponent for No Mercy, because he's been cut some of the best promos he's cut since he's been put on Raw. And then finally, we go into the main event, which, again, was a good match. Don't get me wrong. But I wish they would have had a Cena and Strowman being the main event. The 8-man tag match with Ambrose and Rollins and the Hardys versus the Club and the Bar. Again, it was a solid match. Not really too much to talk about. There was a botch, though, with there was one point I think it was Ambrose had, was it Cesaro? Was it Anderson pinned, and Hardy was trying to come in and interrupt the tag, and it looked like that the ref did count to 3, but it looked like Matt tripped on the rope or something. But they covered up pretty well, saying the excuse of that it looks like the ref got distracted by Matt coming in to the match. But it doesn't feel like that anybody else really played on the played on it, like anybody in the match, if the ref missed the tag, why wasn't anybody on the other team out there arguing with it? So that was a little bit of a botch. Again, it was still had some good good hot tags, good action going on. I thought the finish was a little bit weird with because it did kind of continue to make the club look a little bit weak. Because they had the Hardy Boys standing outside the ring, staring down at Sheamus and Cesaro, pretty much blocking them off. Cesaro and Sheamus didn't even try to break through them. Gallows was already down. So they pretty much just, fed Anderson to Ambrose and Rollins. That's how they finished the match, and then Raw went off the air. But I thought that was a little finished, but still, overall, it was a good match, but probably shouldn't have been the main event. Would have been a good, I'd say, just switch them and John Cena and Braun Strowman, how the order of how they went. And I think that would have made a little bit more sense than it did. But it was still a good match, but again, probably should not have been the main event. But yeah, that is it for my thoughts on Raw. To answer Robbie's question, though, for tomorrow night's episode of SmackDown Live, which whoever's going to be in attendance for that show, it's going to be a big clutter because, 2 hours of that, and then you're going to have the final match of the Mae Young Classic between Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler, and then 205 Live. A little bit of a cluster there. Why not have 205 Live before SmackDown or something? Because I'm sure fans are going to be drained out, and it might hurt the crowd also as well for the Mae Young Classic Finals. But I gotta pick Kairi Sane. I like how they've developed more of a heel character in Shayna Baszler. Since I believe, it's kind of started wherever she wouldn't let go of the when she was in her match with Mia Yim or what her name is. I thought there, and then also in her match against Candice, I can't remember her last name, I'm sorry, but I know she's Johnny Gargano's wife. She did the same thing there, so I enjoy that. But I feel have Kairi Sane the next Asuka, I'd say, because she has the look to pull off another Asuka in the women's division she wanted to. Have her win and set up for that rumored 4-on-4 name H match Survivor Series between the 4 Horsemen of WWE and the 4 Horsewomen of MMA. Get someone fresh again. I don't want to see Survivor Series again just be just about just these Survivor those elimination tag matches. Just be Raw men versus Raw men, Raw women versus Raw women, and the Raw tag versus the women's tag. It would just feel the same thing, nothing really fresh. And no one, the matches were good last year. We had some sort of development between the teams that were going, people that were going on in the match. But as far as what did really benefit for Raw or SmackDown, it didn't really do much for me, in my honest opinion. In the live chat, we have Tia Kupar saying, I feel bad for Anderson and Gallows, who are dominant on New Japan Pro Wrestling. They were, and they were fine until they split them up from AJ Styles at the brand split. Robbie says, hey, Mike, for shits and giggles, if Enzo wins a cruiserweight, what he credits the win to his love of crispy, tangy, honey mustard barbecue flavor. And Ken Couponer says, Robbie, can you imagine Enzo dressing up as Colonel Sanders? And Robbie says, don't get me and Mike started, especially about HBK. Yeah, let's just say I would much rather see Enzo dress up as Colonel Sanders than HBK, because that was an embarrassment for HBK, unfortunately. Again, I don't know how much money they paid HBK to do that, but yeah, that wasn't something I know Sean would do for free, but that was embarrassing. But yeah, thank you, Robbie and Tia Couponer, for joining in this live review. What grade would you give Raw tonight? I'm going to pull up my polls here really quick as well, just really quick before I give my final grade. 8 votes. 38% said A, 25% said B, 25% said C, and 12% said D. And my overall grade for tonight's episode of Raw for the second week in a row is an A-. T and Couponer says B+. Robbie says, I think Shayna may win tomorrow just with how she's been built. I got this feeling that she could choke Kairi out. Sure, again, I'm fine with either one winning. I'm just going to pick Kairi, though, to win. So make sure tomorrow night to check that out. And also SmackDown Live from the Sin City. We got 3 title matches. We got the Usos and the New Day in a Sin City street fight. We got AJ Styles taking on Ty Dillinger for the United States Championship. And we have a SummerSlam rematch. Naomi versus Natalya for the SmackDown. Sorry about that. The SmackDown Live Women's Championship. And the boss himself, Mr. McMahon, is coming to SmackDown Live to talk about the whole thing going on between Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. And then, of course, the finals for the Mae Young Classic's been very enjoyable as well. Just to name a couple matches that I've enjoyed, you know, I enjoyed the match between Toni Storm and Kairi Sane. Also, I enjoyed Kairi Sane's matches with Bianca Belair and Tessa Blanchard. I like those matches. Toni Storm, Piper Niven also had a pretty good match as well. There was a couple others I remember, but like there was those women I liked. I liked that Rhea Ripley as well. Toni Storm, Kairi Sane, Shayna Baszler. Mercedes Martinez also was a solid star force as well. Robbie asks also, do you predict Carmella cashes in? That is actually an interesting one. With how things brewed up last week, I'm going to say possibly. I think there's a strong chance it could happen. But part of me feels that even though there's some things brewing up now between her and Ellsworth, like things a little more interesting, I feel that it could still happen, but I still feel like it might be a little bit too soon. But I'm going to lean a little more towards yes. I do have a strong feeling that it could happen tomorrow. Tia Kupar says also, it would be odd if Vince gives Owens Shane's position. What? If Owens was the commissioner of SmackDown Live? Man, that would be a swerve right there. We have to see where that would go. But very interesting prediction there. But yeah, I'll be back up here tomorrow night reviewing SmackDown Live in the Sin City. Will Ellsworth cost Carmella her cash in? I mean, it would surprise me, but the thing that worry about that is I don't want to see both Money in the Bank briefcases be failed cash-ins this year. I don't want to see it. That's the only problem. But if that happened, though, with Ellsworth costing Carmella the briefcase, it would surprise her. But, you know, Ellsworth better watch what he does, because last week he kind of got what he's been wanting. He got a big wet one from Carmella, but then right back to the slap, which I thought that was quite comical. But yes, I'll be back up here tomorrow night, guys. As always, please subscribe to my channel, click that like button for more content to come. These reviews game will be continuing on, but the reason why I started a little bit later tonight is I want to start waiting until after some other people finish their live reviews, mainly my friend Daniel, guys, and anybody else who I noticed. I don't want to, you know, take up an audience from them at all, so that's why I'm going to maybe start my reviews maybe a little bit later than this, except for like right after Raw, because I don't want to take away time from them as well, and I want to be able to participate and watch their reviews as well live as well. So that's why I started a little bit late tonight. Kind of do an Ellsworth impression, or you're talking about duh? There you go, Robbie. Always doing those impressions for you, my friend. But that is it, guys. I will be back up here again tomorrow night for SmackDown Live. I hope to see you guys all again. And with that, guys, I am out. Till then, guys, have a great night.